I don't know who you'll be after this, but you will not be the same.
In January '98, we won our 3 stars with 5 red knives and forks. I'd realized my dream all those years later. And that dream I had when I was 17 years old. I was now 37 years old, so for 20 years, I'd worked to realize my dream. Things don't happen overnight. You have to make the emotional and the personal investment to make your dreams come true.
Has acting turned out to be all that you wanted it to be?
It's incredible. It's incredible. I never knew that I could do it as a career. I never knew. It was the first memory that I had. It's the first thing I can think of is saying, I want to be an actor to my parents. It felt like an elite group of people, and it felt like I would never belong to them. So once I got the opportunity to, for example, get the movie This Boy's Life with Robert De Niro, I said, wow, now I'm able to I might be able to steer the course of my career. I might be able to have a career similar to these guys that I so admire. That I knew at 15 years old was the biggest gift in the world, and that's never left me.
My father sent me to Harrogate, which was a spa town, and told me to find a job. The most daunting task in my life. And I went to Harrogate and I found a job at the Hotel St. George in Harrogate. And I started there on the 20th of March, 1978. It wasn't great food, but what they taught me was how to push, how to run, how to be consistent. Because consistency is born out of discipline. How never to be late, how to go to work when you're not feeling well, and let the chef send you home.
I didn't have an easy experience. I didn't have come in as a top-rated recruit. I didn't come in with the opportunity to play right away. I had to earn it.
I've never, that thirst or that hunger for wanting to give one great performance that I'm truly satisfied with, or be in one movie that I said, I love this film, is something that I don't know will ever be quite. Keeps pushing you, you know?
You can never perfect what we do. There is no way. I've never met anyone who goes, that's perfection. I mean, to an audience outside of your work, people can think that that's the only way they'd ever want to see that part played or that moment done, whatever. But as an actor, and this isn't mock humility, I think it just goes for all art forms, really. The whole point is perfection is unachievable. So it's that constant pursuit of the unobtainable, which is kind of magic, really, you know, and should keep us kind of motivated to try better.
Success is born out of luck. It's awareness of mind that takes advantage of that opportunity. And I said to him, when I was a young boy, Mr. Reed used to tell me about a restaurant in Paris called La Serre, which was the ultimate, because it had 3 stars in Michelin and 5 red knives and forks. I said, we've got 3 stars with 4 black knives and forks. Let's go for 5 red knives and forks. For the next 3 years, we pushed and we pushed and we pushed and we did everything. You will all be confronted with opportunity. You must take advantage of it. Because if you don't take advantage of your opportunity, you'll never realize your dreams. Whether you want them or not is irrelevant. You don't know that until you achieve it.
I have come to learn that if you don't take it by force, you won't take it at all. You sit in the cut and wait for good things to happen, spend years, and life passes them by because they are not aggressive enough. I'm not talking about physical fighting, but I'm talking about that aggressive nature that causes you to not allow the enemy to take over your stuff.
Ask yourself, what if no one ever bought any of my work? What if I'm never going to sell a book or publish a book or a short story? Are you going to continue to write? And if the answer is yes, because I have to, then yeah, then you are a writer.
I think what gave me the drive to succeed was my insecurities. Reading, writing, struggling. It gave me that individual drive to prove myself because I'd been belittled at school. I'd never been taken serious. I was always looked upon as being a fool, as being stupid. So it was the fuel behind me. And that's what made me work far harder, was to prove to my father and other individuals I had and possessed other great qualities. And so had I been dealt with as a child, I may never have the energy or the fuel to drive me to get to where I got.
So you consider yourself lucky?
Very lucky, yeah.
But you have that talent to meet the luck, right?
Somebody hands you the ball, and you run, you know. I mean, and if you get hit, you get hit, or maybe you make it through. You never know. But I mean, I just know that somebody handed me the ball at a certain point, and I was hungry enough to keep running, and I'm still running. I maintain a hunger, but not an ambition.
All of you will discover you can do things you never thought you could do. You can advance farther than you ever thought you could advance. Once you put your heart into believing that you can do that. Back there is a little bit of fear about whether you can do it or what somebody will say about you.
How much further can you go?
That's a really good question, and I don't know the answer to that. I don't have those types of goals of I want this number, you know. I just have the goal of I want to play well at this tournament. I want to win this tournament, you know, and then I want to win this tournament. And when I wake up one morning and I just absolutely do not want to go on the court or have no motivation to go on the court, then that's when it'll be good for me.
You are a part of something that transcends all the details of your business. You prove it every day that it works. And you prove it by overcoming the obstacles that you have to deal with. There are all sorts of people who want to break your faith. Sometimes they're in your own family. And sometimes they're just so-called good friends who think you're crazy for doing what you're doing. But you see, you have decided to take charge of your life. You have decided that you are going to change it. You're not going to wait for the government. You're not going to wait for some school or something else to happen. You are going to change your situation. I spent my life at it. It's been pretty good. But it wasn't always easy. Business isn't. Life isn't. But to those who can overcome the obstacles, rise up when difficulties arise, are the ones who win the prize.
Everybody starts at the bottom. And there is no advantage to starting 10 years ago as opposed to starting today. In fact, it's better today than it was then. So stick with it. Find our way through it. Just find out an answer. When you start something new, it's not easy.
I've never made it. I've never finished my painting until the day that my eyes close and I don't wake up. I feel like I'm still putting towards my masterpiece, and we're all building on something that we hope can leave a standing of the test of time.
Darkness is your ally. You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it.
So I found myself sitting alone in my bedroom and asking myself the question that sometimes we all ask each other. What are you gonna do now? What are you gonna do now? So I had two choices. Either I was gonna sit in that failure and give up, or I was gonna make a decision to step out of the darkness. You see, when you're in that darkness, you want to sit there and wait for the light to come. When you're in that darkness, it feels uncomfortable, but you can't wait and sit in that darkness. The only way out is to step forward, to face your fears, to become your own light. I had to make a decision. I had to decide to become my own light. I had to believe in myself like never before. I had to find my inner power. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's gonna be a lot of times y'all about to fail. I'm still failing every day. We are all a work in progress. And one day, you'll be sitting in the dark like I was. And you're gonna be asking yourself, what am I gonna do now? What am I gonna do now? But in that moment, I want you to remember the power of you.
Your life is your life. Don't let it be clubbed into dank submission. Beyond the watch, there are ways out. There is a light somewhere. It may not be much light, but it beats the darkness. Beyond the watch, the gods will offer you chances. Know them. Take them. He can't beat death, but he can beat death in life, sometimes. And the more often you learn to do it, the more light there will be. Your life is your life. Know it while you have it. You are marvelous. The gods wait to delight in you.
I didn't come from such a great home, but one day I started running and that seemed to make sense, so then I just kept running. When you get sad, you run straight ahead and you keep running forward no matter what. There are people in your life who are going to try to hold you back, slow you down, but you don't let them. Don't you stop running, and don't you ever look behind you. There's nothing for you behind you. All that exists is what's ahead.
You've spent your career working to get here. Now we have to start all over. You almost feel like an outsider. The coaches are sympathetic, but they still have to coach, and you're not there. It's a dark place. Probably the darkest it's ever been. You're sad and down and out, and you ask yourself, why did this have to happen? It's in this moment that you find out who you really are and what you're really about. You aren't handed anything. You earn everything, every single day, over and over again. You have to prove it. I feel like we all have two battles, or two enemies going on. One with the man across from you. The second is with the man inside of you. I think once you control the one inside of you, the one across from you really doesn't matter.
Your life is your life. Don't let it be clubbed into dank submission. Beyond the watch, there are ways out. There is a light somewhere. It may not be much light, but it beats the darkness.
Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning, they do not go gentle into that good night. Good men, the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. not go gentle into that good night. Grave men near death who see with blinding sight. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And you, my father, there on the sad height, curse, bless me now with your fierce tears, I pray. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light.
I was taught commitment is staying true to what you said you would do long after the mood that you said it in has left. Because we say things when the mood is right? But when the environment and the mood changes, we back off of it.
Get yourself together. Transcend your suffering. See if you can be some kind of hero. Make the suffering in the world less. Well, that's the way forward.
I may be crazy, I don't know, but I just believe my 5-year-old son and my 6-year-old daughter, they deserve the best version of me. I may be crazy, I don't know, but I just believe my wife that I've been with ever since we were in the 5th grade, she deserves the best version of me. I may be crazy, I don't know, but my 3 little sisters, I just believe they deserve the best version of their big brother. I may be crazy, I don't know, but the people I'm of service to on the face of this planet, they deserve the best version of me, and I'm not going to give them any less.
Are you dead? And obviously you didn't fucking die when the dog slapped you. So including last night, that's 3 fucking damage incidents that didn't kill you. Pain or damage don't end the world, or despair, or fucking beatings. The world ends when you're dead. Until then, you got more punishment in store. Stand it like a man, and give some back.
If you're going to try, go all the way. This could mean losing girlfriends, wives, relatives, jobs, and maybe your mind. Go all the way.
Pick up your damn suffering and bear it. And try to be a good person so you don't make it worse. Well, that's a truth. You know, I read a lot about the terrible things that people have done to each other. You just cannot even imagine it. It's so awful. So you don't want to be someone like that. Now, do you have a reason to be? Yes. You have lots of reasons to be. God, there's reasons to be resentful about your existence. Everyone you know is going to die. You know, you too. And there's going to be a fair bit of pain along the way, and lots of it's going to be unfair. It's like, yeah, no wonder you're resentful. It's like, act it out and see what happens. You make everything you're complaining about infinitely worse. There's this idea that hell is a bottomless pit, and that's because no matter how bad it is, some stupid son of a bitch like you could figure out a way to make it a lot worse. Life is suffering. Yes. Well, who wants to admit that? Well, just think about it. Well, so what do you do in the face of that suffering? Try to reduce it. Start with yourself. What good are you? Get yourself together for Christ's sake, so that when your father dies, you're not whining away in a corner, and you can help plan the funeral, and you can stand up solidly so that people can rely on you. That's better. Don't be a damn victim. Of course you're a victim. Jesus, obviously. Put yourself together. And then maybe if you put yourself together, you know how to do that. You know what's wrong with you, if you'll admit it. You know there's a few things you could like polish up a little bit, that you might even be able to manage in your insufficient present condition. And so you might shine yourself up a little bit, and then your eyes will be a little more open, and then you can shine yourself up a little bit more, and then maybe you could bring your family together instead of having them be the hateful, spiteful, neurotic, infighting batch that you're like doomed to spend Christmas with. So then you fix yourself up a little bit, kind of humbly, because, you know, God, you're a fixer-upper if there ever was one. And then you got to figure out, well, can you figure out how to make peace with your idiot brother? And probably not, because he's just as dumb as you, so how the hell are you going to manage that? You're a little clued in then, at least a bit, because you've done something difficult that's actually difficult. You're a little wiser, and so then maybe you could put a tentative finger out beyond the family and try to change some little thing without wrecking it. Things are complicated, and to fix things is really hard. It's like, how do you overcome the suffering of life? How do you overcome the suffering of life? Is be a better person. That's how you do it. Well, that's hard. It takes responsibility. You want to have a meaningful life? Everything you do matters. That's the definition of a meaningful life. But everything you do matters. So you're going to have to carry that with you. You're stuck in meaninglessness, but you don't have any responsibility. Which one do you want? Ask yourself, which one are you pursuing? And you'll find very rapidly that it isn't the majority of your soul that's pursuing the whole meaning thing, because, well, look what you have to do that. You have to put yourself together in the face of that. Well, that's hard. Christ, it's amazing people can even do it. I'm stunned every day when I go outside, and it isn't a riot. I knew this guy. He'd been in a motorcycle accident, and it really ruined him. And he was like a linesman, you know, working on the power. And he was working with someone who had Parkinson's disease, and they had complementary inadequacies. And so two of them could do the job of one person, and so they're out there fixing power lines in the freezing cold, despite the fact that one was 3/4 wrecked with a motorcycle accident and the other one had Parkinson's. It's like, that's how our civilization works. It's like, there's all these ruined people out there, they've got problems like you can't believe. Off they go to work and do things they don't even like. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. And we're so ungrateful. You know, they don't know that they're surrounded by just a bloody miracle. It's a miracle that all this stuff works. It's an old idea. It's far older than Christianity. It's old. It's the oldest story of mankind. Get yourself together. Transcend your suffering. See if you can be some kind of hero. Make the suffering in the world less. Well, that's the way forward, as far as I can tell, if there is any way forward.
The people that come across our paths, whether we're doing business with them, whether we're talking to them about any aspect of life, I know they're coming across our path for a reason. And I'm going to try my best to leave them a little bit different. The only reason I kept pressing forward, the only reason I didn't stop was because everybody that I met and everybody I came across, I knew they were looking at my perspective about life. And if I can keep pressing forward, they may encounter something that they may face and they want to stop. And the first person that will pop up in their mind, man, if ink pressed forward and ink kept going, surely I can do it.